Welcome back to Chaos to Clarity, where we talk about the messy parts of life. We find the beauty and God's presence along the way. Today's episode is a tender one. We're talking about grief, but not just the grief that comes after someone is gone. We're talking about the grief that happens before the goodbye, the in between part. Because sometimes grief doesn't begin when a person takes their last breath. Sometimes it begins when you hear the words you never wanted to hear. The reports aren't good. The treatment isn't working. We need to prepare. Those words can completely change the way you look at time. Suddenly, ordinary moments become precious. A conversation becomes something you want to hold on to forever. A hug lasts a little longer. A simple car ride or a quiet moment together becomes a memory you're already trying to save. The in between is such a weird place to be because part of you knows what's coming, but another part of you is begging for a different outcome. You find yourself walking through your days like you're outside of your own body. Some of you can relate to this as much as I can. I know. I remember leaving the hospital. I don't remember leaving the hospital after we were told that my dad's tumor in his prostate had shrunk, but the cancer was already spread to his abdomen. It was all over his inside. The doctor said, we can do two things. We can either continue treatment and you will stay sick, or you can go home and enjoy whatever time you have left with your family. And as my dad looked at me and then over to my stepmom, he said, I want to spend as much time with them as I can. And he asked, how long do you think I have left, Doc? And I remember staring at the floor, trying not to cry, trying to listen at the same time. The doctor said, I can't give you an exact time frame, but we can help make things as comfortable as we can for however long that will be. And if you know my dad personally, or should I say, knew my dad personally, you know there were very few moments where he wasn't trying to be silly. And this was one of those serious moments. He looked at me with watery eyes and said, come here, sister, so I can hug you tight and kiss your beautiful face because I love you so much and I appreciate you being here for an old crazy man like me. And that's the moment that I lost it. Like I said, I barely remember driving home that night from the hospital. I wanted to cry it out before I got home to my kids and maybe pretend it wasn't true, but it was. And it was like watching my life happen from above, praying that when I woke up, it would be a different story, a different report, and that somehow this wasn't our reality. But then it dawned on me that it really was happening. And my heart was trying to catch up with my mind, and it caused so many emotions all at once. There's sadness because you're preparing to lose someone you love. There's fear because you don't know what life will look like without them. You feel grateful because you do get a little more time, and sometimes there's even guilt because you wonder if you're doing enough, are you going to say the right things, or if you're going to be present enough. But let me remind you, we are all human. We were never meant to navigate loss perfectly. We were meant to love deeply. And when we love so deep, the thought of losing someone feels impossible. One of the hardest things about this season is knowing that while some people are blessed with time to say goodbye, many others don't get that gift. Which brings me back to one of his hospice nurses. She told us that although this time is bittersweet, at least we get closure. She told us that her mom had a heart attack and she passed away while she was at school and she didn't get to say goodbye. Some of us, we do get the chance to sit in silence or chat about yesteryears or get little memos to tell the family after death, which is something that I didn't think I could do. We get to hold hands, we get to laugh and cry and say, I love you a few more times. Others are not so fortunate. They get phone calls out of nowhere, a tragedy, an accident, a moment that changes everything, and left to process everything with a goodbye they never got. So I'll cherish the drives back and forth, the cranky days, the funny ones that I got to be a part of in the last days of his life, and be thankful that I got to be there through it all. So if you're walking through the in between right now, I want to give you some encouragement to embrace the moments God gives you. Don't spend it worrying about the ending and miss the now. Take the pictures, tell the stories, and those of you that knew my daddy, you knew he loved to tell some stories. Whether they were true or not, we'll never know, but he enjoyed telling them. Have those heavy conversations, say the words, hold their hand, and love them just a little bit more through all of this. And as painful as this stage is, it's also very sacred. It can be a place of healing and learning what truly matters. God teaches us in these moments to slow down and appreciate the gift of time, which brings me to when I had asked my dad in one of our conversations if he had any regrets in life, and he told me not going on the trips. He wanted to wait till he had money. He said that he wished he would have did more things when he was healthy. He said, I now realize that you can always make more money, but you can't get more time. He said, take those babies, meaning my girls, on all the trips. Don't let life pass you by. And that was something that I promised him I would do. I now have a beautiful tattoo in memory of him that refers to time and traveling. Life is now, no matter how it looks, in the tears, in the uncertainty, in the waiting, and in the in between. Just remember, God doesn't wait until after the loss to show up. He's always near the brokenhearted, like Psalm 34:18 says. Thanks for tuning in to part one of this topic. Stay tuned for part two. Until next time, friends.